Man, I can't believe how nerve-wracking this is. That all this stuff that I keep seeing it's all crashing, and it's like the same time I'm supposed to be going to go. And I mean, how many times can I be like, no, it's not safe? That's where I'm always getting. You've been saying this so long, Mom. And then it's like, God damn, why every fucking time that is the same time I'm supposed to be going somewhere, it becomes this totally intense thing. That's what it feels like anyways. It feels like each trip that I've gone out has been a real adventure. Like, am I coming back this time? Is my house still going to be there? Like, should I pack up all my clothes and shoes? Like, oh, God. I have no idea. I know, see, one of the things is there's been some footage of France live, and it's intense. Like, and I think they brought in the they brought in some world organization to, so many words you can't say. So many words. But you know what I'm saying, like, the people went up against the government. Then the government was like, "Oh, we need help," and then the other people who are trying to take over the earth, the world dominators, they swooped in, and so it's like when you see the footage live, it is like a battle in the streets. Like, there's explosions, there's stuff everywhere, stuff, people are going through the streets, throwing things everywhere. They're just, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I mean, especially thinking about this is Paris. And the people and the police and stuff, like the police have gone as a giant mob, like it's a battle. It's so crazy. It's like, I'm telling you, it is a part of their thing, is this creation of this robot mind. And I don't know if I already talked about this, because I had seen that scientist who said white people didn't exist before 1682, which, I mean, time is kind of irrelevant. Like, when was 1682? Are you talking about some other time, some other age? Or are you talking about, like, supposedly a few hundred years back we just came? Like, I mean, we need more details on our history. They can't just, but that shows that there wasn't white people all along. There's somehow, where did the white people come from? And I think that scientist, she was saying something about coming from somewhere else, outside of this planet or whatever, which, yeah, that is what they do, is they bring DNA from other places. And, when you're dealing with the more advanced beings, which now there's so much stuff coming out, like it's crazy, because whistleblowers, the government has been working with the reptilians. There's stuff like in the CIA, all these documents that keep coming out, the disclosure documents. Like, there's a ton with the CIA and the FBI. I'm not going through and reading them all. I can't read like I used to, but I'm seeing other people talking about it. But it's stuff I know when they're talking about consciousness and the abilities and stuff like that. And the people are like, can you believe it? And it's like, yeah. Well, I'll tell you another thing too, is so now these CERN scientists are saying that, yeah, they're talking to other beings from other dimensions using their highly sophisticated technology. It's like, dude, all you gotta do is go lay on your bed and meditate. I talk to them all day, every day. What the fuck? I was just like, oh, what? That right there shows you this science mind is outside of themselves. Like, you would know someone's talking to you if you went inside. Oh my God, damn. I'm just so blown away. Like, we're going to do all this stuff so we can talk to these beings from other dimensions. It's like, dude, they're talking to you all the time. If you just shut up and sit down and listen, you get out of your own ego, you get out of your own head, you get out of your own God complex. We're going to do this stuff. We're going to compete with God, and we're going to find these other beings. And another thing I just saw too, where somebody was talking about there's a whole thing, I don't know, there was a bunch of stuff. Something on Gaia channel, something about the never ending story and the author, and about how that represents the different development kind of consciousness, and also is the whole thing about this consciousness and how it was represented in the story and stuff, and about the guy, and with what was I gonna say? Oh my God, the consciousness. Anyways, I can't remember. But I'm always talking about the never-ending story and the darkness. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the never-ending story that totally relates. Like, I could totally see how that relates to stuff. But it is interesting how how he kind of shows this development. But you gotta look kind of deeper into the story or something to see. But I wasn't what I was going to talk about. It was something else with the files and this hidden stuff. What was it? It was a sixth dimension. Okay, so yeah, it was a sixth dimension and the third dimension. Okay, so it was a sixth dimension is communicating into the third dimension. It's the third dimension that has to take the action. It's the sixth dimension that is communicating. And this is also like the same stuff as Matthias de Stefano kind of talks about in the dimensions. And that is like how I understand it, as well as like the 3D is this coming into this dimension in thought, in focus. It's like a focused thought, the projection of self into a reality. So it's a focused thought, and it's just so interesting too how it is like there's a birthing process and a process to the development and growth between the souls that are included. It's like, to me, I totally see how this is. I don't know what all of the other ones or how they all are, but this one is pretty fascinating to me. So then in the communication, though, you know, like you have your higher self, your more advanced self, you know, the self that knows more than you do, that is in the communication. And so when you're in the 3D and you're trying to understand who and what you are, and you're looking outside of yourself, then you have to get to reach a certain point in your development to be able to go internal. I mean, you've got these brilliant minds, right? These super scientists, CERN scientists. Motherfucking CERN. It's like, how, okay, so maybe they're trying to do it like in the physical so that they can think that it's true or something. Like, I don't understand, because even in the Book of One, you know, those scientists or professors or whatever, they were using channelers. I mean, you know, the Hissler guy, he used channelers. That was the real society, and that was the stuff with the hair. The hair is the antenna. The hair picks up the energy, the static communication that is created in the universe. So there's a whole thing to that. So I'm not really sure like why they are trying to do it this other way. It's like they're trying to break through to this other dimension or something. That to me is very, I don't know. It's like trying to bust through your skin from the inside or something. I don't know. It's weird. They mess with things to me that they should just leave, because they don't believe or trust or something. They're looking outside of themselves to try and understand more instead of going inside. Like, that's all I can see. But so they have, you know, when you are in the third and you start developing, when you develop, obviously in this one, you know, so much of your communication coming back to you is this negative. Like, we attach to this negativity, and it is part of our, you know, processing with our ego or something. And so this negativity comes to us, and we grasp onto it, you know, when we create this person or being that we are trying to please other people. Like we want to make other people happy. So we try and transform ourselves like clay into being something that is acceptable by others. And so when we go in, and we all of a sudden, when we can break free from that and stop caring, is stop being so focused on what other people want from you and focus on what is inside of you. And it is that connection, spirituality, and it's your connection to the development of your own self through your own eyes and being able to see yourself. And there's so much more to it. Like, there's so much more because of just as I see these people talking about manifesting your best life and stuff like that, the way that the wording and stuff they use is what I think that bothers me or something, because it isn't like manifesting. It isn't just like, you're sitting there one day and you just decide like, I'm going to manifest this life. It is more of like to me, how you start, you're on your path, you're going through life, you're getting beat down, you're going through all these different things, and each thing gives you a choice, an opportunity to decide who you are, how you're going to behave. You're going to let it bring you down, you're going to get up and, dust yourself off and keep going. And it shows you who you are. And and maybe you have a lack of motivation, maybe you have a fear of everything. It's so you can see that stuff, so you can understand yourself. And so as you develop and you become more sure of yourself and you have to heal and stuff, then you have to really it's like all these nice words coming into my mind, but you have to really put yourself on a pedestal to acknowledge yourself, to pat yourself on the back, even when nobody else does, even when nobody else sees you, to be able to see yourself, to love yourself, even in the dark when nobody, you know what I mean? And so you have this, is this part of you that begins to develop into this other thing that to me, so the moving out of the 3D is when you start pulling back, you become an observer, you start seeing things very differently, you see interactions differently, you see how people behave differently, the programming, all of it you start to see very differently. And so, man, I was just watching this show, like it was another one of those Netflix, fuck these fucking HBO, fuck these motherfuckers and the goddamn pervy teen shit, like motherfuck. God, it's irritating. And what they're doing to this generation is like fucking bullshit, man. It's so sick. So that's the whole thing. I'll talk more about maybe tomorrow or something, but that the stuff that I see and how it's fucking programming, dude. It's fucking programming. Like, it's sickening. I thought I mentioned out of my head. It's like a lot of stuff that I would talk about with that, but one of the things too, so when you pull back and you become an observer, you begin to observe yourself. That is moving into the higher dimension. It is just like as if you took your consciousness and you put it up in the corner and began to observe you, watching yourself and what you do. That is what you do. You pull free from the 3D, which holds you by trying to please others. So when you pull free from that, you reach into this observation of being able to witness yourself. So it's really, to me, it is essential, as a part of the 3D experience, to get this opportunity to step back and see yourself more clearly. And I mean, this is such a gift. People have no idea because they're in such a trauma state. But, and I was there, I can't not acknowledge it. I have total compassion and empathy. I mean, there's so much tragedy going on. Like, it's insane. This one person that just lost their 5 of their kids at one time in a car wreck. Like there is, I remember what I said, like these things are there for a reason. Even, like my stepdad dying on his daughter's birthday that he had this distant and no relationship with, that was interfered by this toxic dynamic in their family, so it, and I can't say that to these other people because they're super religious. They don't understand. Like there's a reason. He's like connecting. He's holding his hand. It gets so emotional. But it's like he's connect. Man, it's hard to. He's connecting to her, and like I said, when you go, like people think because somebody is acting a certain way or doing something, that is how they feel. People hide how they feel. People hide who they are. People hide from themselves. So, but when you just because you pass, you're still connected, and that to me is. It's like he it's like he grabbed onto her as he was going. Like he didn't want let go of her because there's got to be so much unfinished stuff. That's the stuff that goes into the next life, or he'll be from the other side and try and, he'll try and what people do is like they'll get to the other side, and she's got 3 kids he never got to know, and so when they go through stuff, he would be there talking to them, kind of trying to guide them. You can go in and hear so many stories about that and stuff if you get into this like channeling, transmission, or whatever, NDEs and all that stuff, because people will find out, their alcoholic uncle who died of alcoholism, and when this kid started drinking a lot, that uncle was right there doing everything. I mean, they'll wreck your car if they have to keep you off of a thing. So, sometimes people think when bad things happen that it is something bad, they did something bad, but a lot of times something bad has to happen to create something good or to get you back in line, get you back on your path. So there's all sorts of things to do, but I think, I know, with their religion and stuff like that, they're probably taking it very different than how I'm taking it. But mine is based on, this, my own communication in alignment with all of the NDEs, all this stuff that all of this stuff that I have learned and know about. So it all goes together. And so, I just know, but that's very significant. She feels abandoned by him, but she doesn't know how significant it is that for him. I mean, she's just going to take it as like a slap in the face, kind of. But to me, it's like, it's this holding on to something that was unfinished business. So, do your work. I'm telling you, pay attention to this shit. Do your work and stuff. Like, realize that this is a spiritual, complex, growing opportunity when you are in life. It is working stuff out and growing from all of these opportunities or something. One thing, too, that I keep getting this message over and over and over is I need to be telling my story, more of my story, and how, I got over some of the things that I've gone over and how I've healed and stuff. Because apparently, I guess that's a big thing that needs to, is part of the healing. I have seen so many, like, people just bawling and crying and, You know, people's trauma and pain is coming up. They've all kept it, hidden. And then take a pill to keep it, take another one. Oh, it's coming up. God, get me a beer. Life became, it was kind of like people spent so much time trying to manage their pain. It's like, are you really even living? I mean, in between going to work and distracting yourself, and it is like nobody was really living. Like, all this stuff had to happen to get people to actually begin to live and experience. Like, we weren't, it is the same thing as the 3D trying to get everybody to like you. Like, you're not really living. And then when you move into the other observation, when you begin to live, you start living way differently, because you can see things more clearly, and so it gives you more wisdom, more perspective, more there's more of a concept or something. And so, I live very differently like it than I did before I healed. Before I healed, it was like my focus and stuff was just very tainted. It was like I can see like why these people just go round and round and don't see what's going on in front of them. And there's so much. So I'll say the stuff that I'm hearing about the money thing. So there's some sort of I don't know, some 2202, some sort of a thing that went in, started yesterday. So it seems to me that they started the quantum thing. It's already begun in the banks. So they've already put it into this quantum system into the banks. And it's like 85% of the banks. Banks are all crashed. They're all done. I just saw Charlie Ward talking. He keeps popping up, and all the people who have followed him, because there's a lot. It's not just me. There's a lot of us who started seeing him way back, and it followed along and seeing like the shit he's said. Just same thing like with Juan and stuff. Like, you can't get caught up in all the time. It's like you just got to put together all the pieces, and time is irrelevant, but you can see how the things are playing out. And so with the money thing, so the 23rd is supposed to be really significant. So that is, I don't know. I just know I'm going to be out of town. And it's like, oh my God, if that is when everything stops working, and like, am I going to be trapped there and not be able to get home? Like, this is like, oh, fuck. And I keep asking, like, are you guys going to stop, like, do something? You're going to stop me? Like, what's going on? What am I supposed to do? It's so nerve-wracking to me, but I got to trust. And it's like, are you guys telling me what I should, should I stay? Should I stay? So, but so by the 30th, by the end of the month, into April, there's some other thing, like it's going to all be changed. But the Charlie was saying everything, like he said, you're about to see the biggest crash like you can't even imagine. He said, right now we're all on a big old giant airplane, and there's nothing propelling it. It's going in for the crash. He said, so be prepared, because this is going to be really huge. It's not going to be seamless that we're just going to automatically go into, even though they've got it in place. It's not going to be like all of a sudden, here's all the money, people, guess what? We won. No, it's not going to be like that. There's more stuff that has to play out. And so this, and I don't know, they're going to keep fighting it. I mean, Paris, like, Jesus Christ. So, I mean, they're obviously not going to take kindly to what is happening here with the financial. And so Charlie said, be prepared. There's going to be this other guy that keeps going in and talking about this stuff. I've seen a few, and it's something about this 22022 or something. I don't know if it's a niche. I don't know what it is. It's something with the money and the banking thing that went in, and it's a public thing to know that it did it. Oh, and also there's people out there like now pushing on this crypto. and this, you need to know your stuff. Only thing you need to know is if something are they overselling it? Like, what am I buying stock in here? What do you have here? What is your what is the thing that we're buying here? Just a coin? You're just buying a coin and depending on everybody to give it value? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So, you got to just start really thinking about the value of something, what backs it up. Everything is going to be backed. That's not a concept that we're used to. We're used to just this monopoly money flying around and everybody fighting over it, and people, kill their siblings for it. The people are mental over money. So because it's a spiritual thing that's going on, people have to see money differently. They have to see life differently. They have to prioritize. Gosh, I feel like I feel like I've totally been under attack. Like even today, I was like, what dark forces is trying to keep me awake all the time? Like, what the fuck? My sleep is so fucked all the time. God. But okay. So, anyways, I think I'm missing things on the money thing. Because I can't remember all the numbers and stuff they're saying, all the exact dates. All I know is that that stuff is in motion. They can't stop it. Things are about to go completely out of control. Everything is going to crash down. And so, will that be the internet? I mean, the thing that is concerning to me is because there will be no exchange thing. You won't be able to get gas because how will you get it? What are you going to do? Here, take my watch and give me some gas? Like, people are going to be so confused over how to interact like that. Like, people don't know how much do we have to go through with that so people can understand what's happening. Like, that's the thing. But there's going to be a point where you can't use a card at the gas station, just like these people are finding. And cash is not going to have any value. Cash will have a little bit of a fake value just because the people, I mean, you can hear the people talk. The people think the cash has value and different than the doll. I don't understand how. I mean, I to me, like, there's so many people who just are not firing on all circuits. It's like, some of the stuff doesn't make any sense to me. But they're going to value cash, and you still would have a little play there. You'd still be able to maybe get some gas for cash or get some food or whatever. And who knows how long it will go. Like, where people have been like 3 days to 10 days, where I've heard fucking a month. I've heard some people be like, be prepared for months. It's the end of all food now. It's the end of all things. That I know it's a transition period. It's the end of one thing that was bad for us to move us into something that was good for us. But still, there's a bridge, and how long is that bridge that we have to cross to get from one thing to the next? And that's the part where you have to that's the part where you're tested. You're tested. What is your faith? What is your, how do you believe in yourself? Which is a part of what I was talking about a minute ago on the manifesting, where these people keep saying you're manifesting your new life. To me, it is, they showed me. Like, I didn't come up with this new life. I mean, they've been telling me and showing me for a long time. They were telling me things before they started. I completely see my stuff is crystal clear to me. How they've shown me and told me and stuff like that. So all the things that I've gone through and stuff makes sense to me. But when they show me my life path, or however you want to think of it, what my next thing is that I'm here to do, that is when you can say, oh, no, I can't do that, I'm not that, I'm not this, well, who are you then? That is what you're here to figure out. And so when they're showing you the thing that they call manifesting is really a focus on yourself to continue to believe in yourself, to not go off that focus and be like, nope, nope, I don't deserve, nope, nope, I don't, and go into that where you have to go back to learning what you deserve and who you are and stuff. When you get to that point of understanding that it isn't, it is this just focus, and where, to me, I mean, I guess people call it manifesting when you think about something. So if you think about it, to me, when I'm thinking about stuff, to me, it isn't like I'm thinking about it. To me, I will go in and I'll relax and I want to connect to a certain energy, and I will connect, and then I will ask them to show me. And so a lot of times I've just said, show me this period of time, show me this future, show me this, and then they'll show me, and then that's how I've seen like who's in it and stuff like that. They've shown me this stuff. And so, but that is where you can take yourself off track. I mean, and some people don't even know, like, I mean, some people think they're figuring out their whole life, like they don't understand, like, you're on a fucking flight plan. You can't get off the ride, you're on a certain path. Like, and so many people with their, manifest your dreams, manifest your money, do this, do that. It's like, no, don't feel guilty about any of that stuff, because you are here to have an experience, a certain experience that your soul has decided. It's not for the avatar to, step in and take over. No, you can't. I mean, it becomes your own frustration to try and, design, make things go the way you want them to. You're just creating frustration for yourself, because nothing can happen that's not supposed to happen. Everything is by design. Everything is by, it's fate and destiny. And so, and you got to trust, especially you got to trust even when, there's people who you're going to be hanging out with and they don't see you or something. Then you just got to trust, like, okay, well, I trust you guys. Like, I don't know how this all goes down, but I trust you. So I just feel like that my relationship and stuff with the other side, or my guidance, or my concept of life is different than how I hear a lot of people think and see things. And I think I believe I'm here to share my perspective. I believe I'm here to share how I overcame some of the obstacles I overcame. And, not to say I'm better than somebody, but just because, some people don't know how to get over certain things. They need to have somebody, throw them a rope. And that is, that's how we all work together. I mean, we've all needed somebody to throw us a rope at some time or another. We all need each other at some point. And that's what she was also saying too, about the never-ending story. It has a big significance about us to stop with this 3D individual, where it is kind of like this, panic of I gotta make my perfect self, I gotta be the perfect person and stuff. And to not be so rigid, and to come together, and that's this whole creation of this unity community, and that is the creation of this Christ consciousness, this conscious entity that we're creating of a certain energy. Like, we are creating this, it is like in the Book of One where there's Ra, and in this the thing where the lady was talking about the Gaia channel and the never-ending story and stuff, is the guy that she was talking, or the Gaia channel person that was talking and saying this stuff, that he was saying the same thing. What was I saying? He was saying, yeah, it was like going too fast. But anyways, hopefully that made sense, because I don't know if it made sense to me. So many things. Like, what? I still, if I go in and watch any of my stuff, I'm still like just sitting there like, what did I say? Like, I'm sitting there learning stuff as I'm hearing myself say it, because I don't remember saying it. So weird. But anyways, the because the creating the consciousness, oh yeah, because you have to come together to create. Oh yeah, the other yeah, okay, so he was saying about that consciousness that he was talking to, and that's the same thing with the CERN scientists too. All three of those that I just heard this morning were all about this, talking to this created consciousness. This it's a created consciousness that is created from the consciousness that we create as we come together. The Christ consciousness that is created as we join in this community of evolution into the unity set mind of wherever we're going to set it. I think it's going to be set on, I think there's going to be a lot, really, like from this whole experience. This is a huge, huge amount of growth that is going on for the galaxy, the collective, all of this stuff. But the collective consciousness, that's that what Raw was. It was a collective consciousness. The one guy, he was talking to a collective consciousness, and the CERN people who were talking to the sixth dimension consciousness, and how the CIA says about the consciousness, like there's all these things go together. So even if I'm not making sense, like it's a whole bunch of things that I had seen that starts being like, sometimes it's just like such a flood of information of how it all fits in together and stuff, like, and then it's always like a bombarding, like there's so much of this stuff, that they're very good at communicating. Like I'm telling you, if people are not getting it, it's just because you're not paying attention. It's because you're focused outside of yourself somewhere. And the more you focus on the inside, the more you see, like, the communication is everywhere. It's in your head, it's out in your physical, it's in the people you meet, it's everywhere. It's like the signs, they're all around you. But it's you, if you're paying attention. And what you pay attention to, what you focus on. Do you focus on pleasing others? Do you focus on pleasing yourself? And that is, in the whole development, as well as, where you can manifest your best timeline, your best outcome. And in that thing where they were talking about the consciousness and the never-ending story, whatever, all those stories, it was also of the, if you are in that development stage of consciousness where it was seeing the same things as what I keep saying. It's like the same information, just said differently, but it is that same thing of you are either in this stage of development of trying to understand who or what you are, or you get to the stage where you realize, you are this being and you're in charge of your reality. And then it is the reality. It's so weird too, because even if you say, oh, the reality I deserve, the reality, what I hear all these people saying, well, it's the reality I deserve. So you're seeing that somebody is having experience of lack, deserves to have lack. They're growing and learning something and expanding themselves. So there's no there's no shame. There has to stop being this judgment and shame to different experiences. And so when you because to me, like I've said, is they showed me. It wasn't like I just thought of this, like my stomach keeps growling and growling in the morning time. I keep thinking it's those fucking parasites. I'm full of worms. They're in there just, give me food. But because they told me what my future was. I didn't just come up with one and I deserve this future and that's the future I'm going for. No, they showed me. They told me. They said, this is what you're doing. And then, I could always be like, oh, no. You can't. You can't stop the role that you are going to play. You're going to play the role that you came to play. And, they're going to prepare you for the role. And, so it's not, it's like you, But you can take yourself off of your path by just thinking, not by your own doubt, your own not believing in yourself. You can put yourself on a different trajectory energetically in your life. And so, if they show you where your path is, even if you're like, oh, that's my path, or, I mean, maybe your path is taking care of old people as they age, and you think, oh, God, I don't want to do that. And then, you were just up against it or whatever. And then, maybe you actually go in and start doing it. And then you start seeing, like, this has been the biggest blessing. I can't even believe what a beautiful experience that I'm having here. I feel so fortunate. I feel so lucky. The give and take, the energetic giving and taking, the relationships, the knowledge that you receive from the interactions that you have with these people. Like, I mean, there's all different things, and people can think like, oh no, that wouldn't be something that I would want to do. And then, but your soul knows what you really need. Your soul knows what you are supposed to be doing. Your soul's going to push you into that. And so, even if you feel that you are, not worthy, or it's not something you would want to do, or whatever, you got to trust that that is the direction that you are supposed to be going, and go on the ride, go for the gusto, you know what I mean? And, to me, like, I think that a lot of stuff is going to start changing and stuff, and I feel like I'll be able to talk more about some of this stuff, because some of the stuff has to kind of play out. You can't really talk about something that is still in the development stage. So once it goes into the stage of, there's a lot of more things that I can say about a lot of this stuff, because of, there's more information. But like I said, some of the stuff I don't want to say because I'm going to sound crazier than I already sound all the time. So it is, but I mean, sometimes they show you got a pretty big job ahead of you, and they will tell you and tell you and tell you about it. Like I said, they start telling me, dropping hints that I didn't know. I didn't understand the hints when I was younger. Then once I got older and I started putting it together, then I could understand what they were saying and why and stuff. Now, like I said, 2020, it was like all of a sudden the whole puzzle went together, and all of a sudden all the pieces fit. And it was pretty, it's pretty cool to go from, being thought of as just this crazy person to all of a sudden realizing, oh my God, it's because everything is upside down. It's like they can't see you, they can't hear you. They're all upside down, and it is the strangest thing. But it's also a relief, to go from feeling like, why do I not fit in here? What is wrong with this place? To being like, oh, everybody's just trying to fit into something that doesn't really fit them. It depends on how much you try and fit into something that doesn't fit. And to me, I'm just not one of those people. Like, I'm not going to try and fit into something that doesn't fit. I'm going to walk my own path. I'm not going to be one of those people. Even though, my kids would say, every husband you had, you tried to be, like them or whatever. But that is, like, you're married to a husband who likes camping, and then you go camping, but you don't really like camping. It's like, well, sometimes you try and just be a good person and be a good wife and give your kids opportunities and see, like, this person has these other things that aren't like me, and I want my kid to be well-rounded. I want them to have a lot of experiences, So, but that's like a child's perspective, when a child thinks like, you change into somebody different. It's like, well, because I got some cowboy boots when I was going out with this one guy, I had cowboy boots a long time ago. It's like, it's not, it's like all of a sudden you just remember like, oh, I really liked my cowboy boots. I think I'm gonna get some more. It's not like I just all of a sudden became a different person, you know what I mean? But from a child, they think, oh, your mom doesn't know who she is or something. It's like, no, we're all just trying on things. We're all just trying to figure out who we are. We're all just, in development stage. We are developing into who we are and into what we want to be. And so it is, and we shouldn't judge it. We should, it should be revered. We should all be like, cheering each other on. Oh, try that on for size. Maybe you like to do this. Like there, I just saw this one person talking about, you know, um, somebody who grew up like what I just said about Hitler and his dad. And she said, like somebody growing up in the house and in their blueprint of their soul, they're a really good writer. They were, a writer in another life. They're, documented writer or something. They're a very good writer. And then in this life, so that's part of their imprint. But in this life, they've got that repressed and they don't even know that they have that. Nobody talks, they don't read books, nothing like that. And that is why you have to open yourself up to all stages, all different people, all different things, so that you can find all this parts of yourself. Because there is so many parts of yourself that are hidden and will remain hidden as long as you're not looking for them. You have to actually go in and try and figure out who you are. And if you're so busy trying to figure out who you are to please other people, you're not finding out who you are at your core, in your imprint, all the things you're good at, all the things that make you you throughout all your lives, not just the life that you're here struggling through right now. So it is, there's value to opening yourself up and putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, trying all things. Even if you're not good at something, even if you fail at this or fail at that, go to the next thing, try another thing. Don't be held back. And even if it's something like making bread, when I would start making bread and it was like fail, like I do all sorts of cooking that is a big old F, fail. But that does not put me off. I'm just, take it as like, oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. And that is, you've got to just keep on going. You don't stop. You don't give up. You don't go like, well, I'm not good at it. I tried it once or twice and it didn't work out. It's like, yeah, but what makes you think that you would be good at something by trying it once or twice? Like maybe it takes more effort. Maybe it takes more development. Maybe you, especially if you have the desire, like you want to do something, and maybe it's going to take a little bit to, trigger that memory inside of you, because it's like the same thing as muscle memory in life. You have, your soul memory inside of you. Your muscle memory, you can, not ride a bike forever and ever, and then you go and you just automatically remember how to do certain things. It took you a long time to learn how to do it. Like when you went out to learn to ride a bike, it wasn't like you just hopped on and, oh, look, I'm riding a bike. No. But then when you go and you go back to riding it after decades, it's not like you have to relearn it all over again. You just jump back on and you're right back riding a bike. So it's the same thing with your soul's memory. You have all of these things inside of you, but you yourself has blocked yourself off from who you are. It's your protective wall that you put up around your soul so that you can be, it's like your armor in life. So you think nobody can hurt you, nobody can penetrate you. You've protected yourself, but really you're guarding yourself, you're hidden yourself, because really you got to let yourself free. You got to be free and let yourself be seen and show yourself. And, not be so concerned. If somebody doesn't like you, well, who cares? That's one person out of 100 billion people. It doesn't matter with this one person. You're not, and it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with your vibration. That's what people need to start understanding. It's your vibration. Some people like you because it's your vibration. Some people don't because it's your vibration. It's not you as a person. It's where you vibe. It's what the energy you're putting out. Their energy. Some people's energy just doesn't go. And we go take it personally. Well, maybe if I go change myself, maybe if I did this differently, maybe if I did that, then I would be more acceptable to these people. No, that is the wrong way to go. You got to just, let it roll off your back, keep on going, and be more true to yourself. Be more authentic. Be more of who you are. Don't hide yourself. Put yourself out there. And putting yourself out there will draw in the people who are on your vibration, that they are in your kind of your inner knowing. Like you'll draw in your people who you vibe with. But yeah, you're gonna have to go through some that you don't vibe with, because I mean, we've got all different vibrations here. We're all, when you turn on the radio, like all that static, we've got all of that here. But you can find your station that plays your music when you are putting yourself out there to, to draw it in. So it's an important part of what's going on here on the planet right now, is this healing, finding yourself, disconnecting from the 3D control of your mind, and then pulling free to figure out your development of self, and then to go out and truly show yourself and be yourself, so that you can live your true life the way you want to live your life, not pleasing others, not doing things for everybody else, and it's a big thing. You have to, especially, if you've been through a lot of trauma and stuff, you got to heal a lot of stuff to get to that point of even being able to hear yourself. I mean, you got these mad scientists who can't even hear themselves. Like, they're just, going through machines trying to talk to other beings. It's like, motherfucker, they're talking. Like, yeah, that just blows my mind. I couldn't believe it when, I mean, you knew, like, they're pulling some shit with CERN. Like, to me, they're trying to break through the firmament, the thing that holds in this vibration. They're trying to bust through the veil. It's like the veil is a contained situation for a reason. You're not supposed to be busting through into, but see, they're always trying to go up against God. It's like the natural order of things. There's a natural order, it's not just this God person. There's a natural order of the universe. Like, you can't just keep on fighting what is real. Like, it's, I don't know, this world's fascinating. Like, really, it's so, and it's so, like, it's so strange how, I don't know, the way people, I don't know, don't, like, God is out there, and if anything talks to you, it's a demon. Like, it's just weird. And I don't know. I'm excited for this stuff to start changing and flipping right side up. And I know there's going to be so much confusion, and it's going right now with the money. Like, all of it is going to go together. Our change in power, the money, the flipping, it all is the flipping us into freedom. But how it all plays out, like, that's what we're watching to see how it all plays out. But it all will, go together. Everything is going to flip the other direction, but it's going to be so, it's going to be so powerful. But for the people who just don't see, who don't understand and stuff, it's going to be so nice. For those of us who want people to see, but it's going to be so hard on them to see what they haven't seen. And, there's going to be a lot more of those crying and tears and, what does it all mean? And, more tragedy, more death. Like, there's a lot of really, really sad things happening. But, on a larger scale, it's all for a beautiful purpose. Even though people don't understand, and even though people think when somebody dies, they don't ever get to see them again. Can't even believe how many people I see saying stuff, and it's like, they're sitting right there with you. All you gotta do is talk to them. They're not gone. Nobody's ever gone. They're always right there. Like, as soon as you start talking to them, they're right there. But then people they just don't believe it. They think it's all in my mind. There is a lot of people, though. That is one thing that I think does wake people up. When somebody passes, there is a lot of people who do start being like, yeah, I know. I can feel them. They're always there. They come in my dreams. They're always talking to me still. It's like, yeah, because they're really there. Just because you can't see them, that's just, they're there. It's just this dimensional thing with how we are in this game still. So we have to see the game They're outside of the game, but they can see us. They can even see the game. But they're moving differently through this space and time than we are. So, but they come right there to you. If you call them, they're right there. So, and, I know my stepdad is there with my sister. I'm sure he is, because he's free now. He doesn't have all of the things that were inside of him, all the pain and suffering that kept him distant. And now he's free, and now he sees, and now he has to go through the thing of like all of the loss that he has of not getting to know them. There's a lot. Like, I feel the pain of the people when they pass. Like that, there's so much to do, to work on your relationships, work on, the hard relationships are the ones that really, they do need some tendon. Some of them have gone on from life after life, and and then it just carries on to the next one. I would think, some of their stuff, hopefully be mended, but, he could, come right back as one of her grandkids in this new age that we're going into, and her have the awareness that she has, her dad is now her grandchild, and she can work on that relationship. But it would be a strained relationship. Like, the same strains will go into each of the relationships from life after life. That's what I'm saying. That same strain that keeps you distant, you'll just go into another life and replay that until you guys can figure out how to get over whatever it is. And it could be so many things, especially when you start piling on other lives that you don't even remember the shitty things you do to each other. So it is, and all these things are all opportunities to heal. And you don't have to have all of the things. All you got to do is find acceptance and love in your heart. Once you find acceptance and love in your heart, you can let go of so many things. And you can realize, you see that everybody is carrying pain. Nobody is perfect. Nobody hurts you on purpose. We're just living in a world of pain, with people in pain that don't know how to, everybody's struggling. So, but the beautiful thing is this horrible thing's happening is going to transform us into a different type of society where, we're not toxic anymore. But it's going to take some work, because look at it. I mean, our world has become so toxic. So it's going to be some work. But anyways, I'll get going. And, so the money thing is in motion as far as I understand. And at any point in time, suddenly everything can stop working for us. And you won't be able to go to the store and use your card, or I would say probably have a little bit of cash just in case, because, you don't know. And if some people still need to get around in gasoline and stuff like that. So, you may need to, I don't know. Everybody's going to have to figure out their own stuff, because this is going to be, these are our challenges. These are our steps. This is our bridge to this new way. So this is your path on this transition kind of period for you to, monitor your own obstacles and challenges. And this is your development of you seeing yourself through this. So, it's just, I would just say everything, just be mindful and remember everything you put out comes back to you. So kindness is important. Don't be going around being a dick to everybody. You're going to have a lot of that coming back on you, where you're just going to go out and everybody's going to be a total asshole to you. And you're going to feel beat down. So go out and put out what you want. You want kindness, put kindness out. And be prepared for anything. And when things go down, don't take it out on other people. Just realize that this is a transition. We're going into something different. And if you're being a dick to everybody, then, that's to show you got some issues. You're a dick. So anyways, work on you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk some more about that show, because I want to, that will have more to do with my own story and stuff. And that is one thing that they keep pushing about. Like, they really want people to go out and tell their stories because there's so many people who, all this stuff is coming to the surface and they need to know how to like process it and stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to talk more about my story, and then tomorrow I may be leaving. This is my thing. Like, man, do I wait till the 23rd? And then if everything goes down, then I don't go, so wait till Thursday? Or do I go on Wednesday and then figure if shit goes down? It's because I'm supposed to be there with my kids when shit goes down. But then it's like, oh my gosh, like, what all do I take from my house if I'm going to be going there if shit goes down? Like, I mean, I wouldn't even know what's going on here. Like, I wouldn't even know if my house floated off or sunk down in an earthquake or anything. It's like, well, what do I want to take? Should I load up my car when I go? So, anyways, I mean, things are going to go down. There's going to be loss. We're going to lose a lot. And, things are changing. But we're going to gain. We just got to let go. Let go of what's being taken and be prepared for what's coming in, because it's going to be good. So, anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow.